Alright, what's up, brother? This is gonna be the little rundown of how this game works. And like I said, I'll try to, like, edit this down. I'll edit this down pretty good so you don't have to, like, watch, like, an hour-long video on this. I know you got better things to do. But, so this is actually the upgraded garage. You know, you'll see all this when you actually play the game. But basically what I'm gonna do here is I'm actually gonna go to the junk shop, or the junkyard, and I'm gonna get a car, and I'm gonna do a full rebuild on it. And just show you, like, everything you can do on the car. This is actually a job that I have right now. This is your little wheel, and it changes depending on, like, what you're moused over. This is your order screen. These are, like, jobs that you can take. None of this really tells you. The only thing I don't like about the jobs is that none of it really tells you exactly how much money it pays to do the job. You don't know that until after you've done the job, which I think is a little unrealistic, but I guess it's kind of realistic, considering that until a shop actually looks at a car, they don't give you an estimate. But I feel like you should be able to, like, look at a car and then get an estimate on what it's going to take, and then you could basically be like, well, you know what, I don't really want to work on this car, so you can have it back. You know, just like a real shop. I think they should make some kind of change with that in the next game, because you kind of have an idea in this screen. You can see these little icons. This tells you, like, what's wrong with it. So there's engine problems, there's suspension problems, there's brake problems, and then there's, like, exhaust problems. And then this would be transmission, fluids, body, and general mechanical. Transmission problems and engine problems usually mean big money. You know, the more of these you have going on, the more money. The last job I took had, like, most of these going on in the timing chain, and I got, like, 22,000 from it. I'm not entirely sure how the money scales over time. Like, as you level up, if you just get jobs that pay more. I think it depends on the car, too. Like, obviously, I know it depends on the car. Like, if you're working on a supercar, like, I've done a supercar transmission fix before, which paid, like, $8,000 for, like, a 4-step process. Like, I just had to lift the car up, take the transmission out, and I think I actually was able to just repair it because I have the skill to do that now, and I didn't have to buy a new transmission, so I just repaired the transmission, put it back in, and it was like $8,000. It was really quick. So that's, you know, it's pretty realistic in that sense. And like I said, that's kind of where the puzzle element of this game comes from. Of course, the puzzle element comes from any car that you're working on, but the puzzle element is really highlighted in the jobs, because when you get a job, you try to figure out how to fix it in the most efficient way possible based off of the information that you know. And, like, this car probably starts, so one of the things you can do when you don't know what's going on with it is you can come down here and you unlock these additional tools. I can do, like, a compression test, and you saw all the different tools you have there. You can do, like, these different tests on it. See, the piston ring is at 18%. So so right there, you know you're going to have to replace piston rings. And if I know I have to replace piston rings, that means you're going to have to take this whole engine apart all the way down to the pistons, which means you're going to have to go from top to bottom. You're going to have to... You don't have to take the engine out, but if I didn't have the engine lift, I would have to take apart the whole top, then lift it all the way up, get under the car, take the oil pan off. Then I'd have to take off all the camshaft, or the cam bearing that are underneath it, and all the rod bearings, the rod bearings and the rod, like, clasps or something. I can't remember the name of them, but there's, like, these things underneath the engine, and I'll show you that you have to take off, and then I could remove the piston, the individual piston, and then I'd have to go into my store here, and then I'd have to buy this, So that's one of these. I have to tear this whole engine down just to replace one of these. Then I rebuild the whole thing. So this is going to pay pretty good just because of all the work involved. And it's also a BMW, so it's an expensive car, so it's going to pay pretty good. I would expect this to pay pretty close to $10,000 with all the work that needs done to it. But anyway, let's get into the actual nitty-gritty of it. This is my car. I actually just bought this second lift, and this is my car. I actually just painted that cover red. You can paint all of this stuff. Anything that you can actually like hold in your hand, you can paint. I'm pretty sure you can paint your shock absorbers too. I know like all these like covers on the engine you can paint. I think you can even paint your air filter color, maybe even your battery. I'll have to mess around with that, but you can paint quite a bit of individual parts. And I could like take this hood off and paint it a different color. And there's extra levels to this that I haven't unlocked. So you can do advanced color palette and paint types with that level, which I obviously have enough money to buy. I'm just cheap. And then the final one gives you custom color mixing and liveries. So there's actually liveries in the game. And then there's modded content that you can get for this too, for modded liveries. But anyway, yeah, let's go to we're going to go to the map. Then I'm going to go to the junkyard, and we're going to see what we can find. Now, there's certain cars that I don't really like looking... not looking at. Well, yeah, I don't like looking at them, but there's certain cars that I don't really like working on. So I'm not going to pick an electric vehicle. It's not that they're any more difficult. I just don't really find it fun to tear them apart and, like, work on them. I just think, like, I like looking at all the... you know, like all of the mechanical stuff on combustion engines. There's just more complexity to them. So this looks interesting. So this is a car. Oh, there you go. There's a Dodge Charger RT. How about that? I mean, that's like as sick nasty as it gets. Now, the problem with this vehicle, although I'm probably going to take this because this is literally the perfect vehicle to demo for you. That actually looks pretty badass. I think that's might even be another Charger. So this is going to run me 4,921. The estimated car value from upgrading it is 5,656. So there's an immediate profit right there. This is probably going to be the car. I'm going to see what this is. I was honestly expecting to maybe need to... Oh, no, this is just a Pissant. Oh, wait, what is this? Is this Golf? I actually have modded... No, it's not. I have a modded Golf. Oh, this is a fucking Honda hatchback. I'm probably going to buy this, actually, and just stick... Yeah, I'm going to buy this and just stick this in my my parking, because I just have, like, tons of money now from doing these rebuilds. So that's fucking cool. I'm not even going to think twice about that. I'm going to buy this, because this is going to be a car. This is going to be a project car for me. 100%. So I'm going to buy this, put that in car parking. Yeah, I've been looking for Hondas. Because obviously I'm going to just ricer it up, right? Because that's your boy. So let's see what else they have over here. This looks like a supercar. This looks like a Lamborghini. A Mayan T8. You know what? I think that's actually an electric car. It doesn't even say what kind of engine's in it. 10,000. I don't know. Maybe you could tell me what you think this engine... What this... no, that's not... that is definitely not a... So you can actually examine this. And you get one experience point for everything that you examine, which adds up. Like, if you take those car jobs and you examine every single part and go through all of your tool examinations as well, you get, like, 200 plus, I would say, or maybe 100... Probably like 150 plus experience points per car. So that adds up really quick. I'm not going to examine all these because that's just a waste of your time. I'm probably already wasting your time. But I don't know what this is. I'm not really a supercar guy. Not yet, at least. I mean, I'll get there when I want to get to like that level of drag racing, like the super class. But you know, I think this. Oh, there's a car all the way over there. Let's just see what that is. In fact, before I even do anything else, I'm just going to go ahead and buy this because this is going to be the car we work on. Now, what I was going to say before I got distracted, when I buy these cars, I don't generally, if it's a car I really want, I don't generally care, but one of the things that you can be sure of when you are buying these junk cars is that if it is missing wheels like that, see, it doesn't have two of its wheels, I think. Yeah, it's missing 3 out of 4 wheels. So when it's missing wheels, it also will probably be missing other things as well, like the brakes, the brake pads, calipers, etc. If it has all 4 wheels on it, it 100% will have all of the suspension components on it. What condition they're in, that's you know, that's up for grabs. But if it has a wheel, any wheel that's on the car means that the rest of the suspension is there, because as you, one of the things you're asking is, can you freely take down a car and take off whatever you want? Whenever you want, yes. Whatever you want, kinda, but also no. Because in order to put a wheel on a car, you have to fully build that side suspension. You can't like have, well, to some degree, like there are certain parts that you can get to with the wheel on, but like the brake pads and the brake calipers, you can't take those off without the wheel being off. But I'm pretty sure if you really wanted to, you could take off the, I think you can take off the rod, the sway rod, or the sway bar, or I think you can take off that, the wishbone, and spring. Or that's not a wishbone. I think that's just a regular shock and spring. I think you could technically take that off without removing the tire. There's some things under there you can take off without removing the tire, but you get the idea. But anyway, I'm going to buy this car because this is dirt cheap, and I honestly, well, this really sucks because this is 2 project cars. This might even end up staying in my garage. But yeah, I'm just going to buy it, and here we go. And we'll put that in the garage. And then that's going to be that. I might want to just actually buy something else that's going to be an actual project car. Like, or not a project car, but a flip car. So let me see what this bitch is. This actually looks pretty cool. Oh yeah, this is a Hinata Moon. I want to say this is actually the Honda S2000 or the S2100. This is the Fast and Furious car, I think. So again, this would be a car that I would probably want to hold on to. I'll put that in the car parking. Well, we'll see. I don't know. I'll figure it out another way to make money after that. So we're just going to go back to the garage. All right. I'll try to edit these out. It loads pretty quick, all things considered. So we're going to move this to the car lift. Car lift A. Okay, so now obviously this thing immediately, because it's not on wheels, and you might have seen it out there, it was actually on blocks, which I think is cool. So immediately we're gonna start taking this thing apart. Honestly, the interior here is in pretty good condition for considering how bad the exterior is. Let me just make sure I'm still recording here. Yeah, we're good to go here. Okay. So that's your shopping list. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do here is take this wheel off. We'll just go ahead and raise it all the way up. Actually, Hang on. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to examine this whole thing. And I will cut this part out for you so that you don't have to sit here and watch me do this, because I'm going to... this will take a little bit of time. So I'll see you after I'm done with this. Okay, and here we go. All right, we're back now. So, yeah, like I said, just cut that out because, I mean, you get the idea, but this is what it all looks like when you're done. But I just was doing that for the experience points because I'm getting higher up there in level. This is actually where you get your upgrades. You go to your toolbox here, and these are all your different things. Highly recommend, if you do play normal mode, if you don't play sandbox mode and you're doing this level up process, it's usually recommended to go down the renovator tree because that allows you to fix things, and that just saves you a butt ton of money when you're taking jobs, because you can just pull things off the car, and as long as they're at least 15% quality, you can take them to your bench and repair them, is up to a certain extent. Like, you can't repair all items, like rubber bushings, you can't repair those, you just have to replace them. But usually the big pieces like gearboxes and the suspension arms and rims even, you can take I'll actually save money on this. These brake discs, when I pull these off, I'm going to bring them over to this lathe over here, and I'm going to lathe them, and they'll be good as new. And so, anyway, well, we'll just get right to that here. So, I'm gonna lift the car up first, and we're just gonna start pulling things off here. So we're gonna start with the caliper. So that's at 11%. That's trash. And this is what I do here when I'm doing these full restorations. Full restorations are a lot more straightforward than fixing order cars, because it's just pull the whole thing apart and be done with it. There's no real thought that you put into it, because you're just literally taking everything off. So I'm just removing all of these pieces here and just kind of showing you really the extent of what you can remove. That exhaust, that's trash. I can't do anything with that. We're taking the tire rod off. Let's see what else we need. Yeah, see, that's still connected to the other wheel. So I'm actually going to take this wheel off here. And these are these are seized bolts, so you just hit them with a little WD-40, and they come right off. Wouldn't it be great if it worked like that in real life? Real simple. So again, we're doing the brake calipers on this side. And again, I don't really care about, I'm not even gonna, take note of what I see that needs repaired and put it in my shopping cart. So, you can pull up your shopping list here, and, let's say I was working on a car and needed to repair just this front knuckle cover, right? I pressed X there to add it to my shopping list. You can play this with a controller, by the way. I can't honestly imagine playing this with a controller. I think it would be kind of a nightmare to try to move this little dot around and do all of this with a controller, but I don't know. It might actually snap to each individual item, but even that just seems like a level of control that I would not like. But you can play it with a controller if you want to play it with a controller. Then I go to my tablet. This is actually the tablet is something you unlock in the beginning of the game. If you're not playing sandbox again, you have to go to your computer, but the tablet is only like 200 or 500 bucks. It's not expensive. So then you can go to your tablet and you go to the appropriate shop to buy what you have in your shopping cart. You open your shopping list, I press tab, and then I click on that, and then boom. That way you don't have to type everything in here. Now there's certain things that come off with other pieces that you can't add to your shopping cart unless you go into your inventory first to add it. So you can't just add it at the car like I did there. You'd have to go in. One of those things would be piston rings, or this stuff, the stuff that's involved with shock absorbers, right? You'd have to actually disassemble it at this. This is your spring puller, so you separate the parts. take them off. Then I'd go to my inventory, and now I have the front spring there, so I could add it to my shopping list from there. Piston rings are another one. The piston ring comes off when you pull the piston out of the car, but those are just things you learn. I just type it in here, and then there you go. But anyway, I'm going to remove all that because, again, I'm not buying anything until I know for sure that I can't repair it. So this makes it really easy. So now I'm going to pull this off. This is your sway bar front end link. That's what I was talking about. I'm pretty sure you might be able to actually take that off if you have the car jacked up all the way like this without actually removing the tire. The outer tie rod, you definitely have to remove the tire for. Same with the suspension arm here. Definitely the front knuckle. You got to take off. Little WD-40 there. And definitely the sway bar. There's the front steering knuckle. Let's see here. The steering rack. That's good. That's going to save me money because that's at 32%, so I'm going to be able to repair that. I think I'll be able to get this whole thing. Yeah, that's at 31. We're going to take off the drive shaft. I'm going to show you how I do the... I'm going to show you taking the engine out altogether, and then I'll probably just time jump the video up so that you don't have to watch me tear down this entire back end. I mean, you get the general gist of it. You can see there's a lot of pieces to remove. A lot. And this the screw speed is actually something that you can upgrade as well. And the disassembly, like how fast that green circle rotates like that to get to unscrewing the piece, you can upgrade that as well. So obviously when all that's fully upgraded, it would be a lot more bearable to anybody that doesn't really have the patience to do all that. So now I just took the crankshaft out. That's good. I didn't actually have to do that there. I could do that at the actual the engine stand, which, again, the engine stand is something that you buy. It's an upgrade. So we're going to put that in car lift A. I wish there was an animation for this, but there's not. So you'll see you just pull it out, and then it's done. Now I come all the way over here to my engine stand. I install the engine. So this is a V8 Hemi 440 Magnum. So this is going to be a really cool looking engine when it's all said and done. I am going to time jump this, so I will see you when I am finished taking apart the back end here. Okay, done deal. So the entire car is completely stripped at this point. Oh, wait, I lied. There's still exhaust. Oh, wait, no, there's not. Nope, there's no exhaust. Okay, so the whole car is stripped at this point. Now, you can do this before you actually strip the car, but one thing that I didn't show you that I'm going to do right now is I'm going to weld the car. I have a welder here, and you get this with shop improvements. And this is going to cost me $1,500. I think that's pretty much the base price. And it's just going to make the frame pretty and perfect again. See that? So now it removed all the rust from the car. Frame is good as new. And these are dirt smudges, and these will actually come off when you give the car a car wash, which I also have. And there's also an interior detailer as well. So this does not have a steering wheel. It has the front seat, the two front seats, which I think we'll just keep in there. I might just buy new ones. And then there's rear seats, obviously. I think you can put, let's see, we'll go to interior. Yeah, there's a bench that you can put in the back. So we'll do all that later. But now the car looks like something that is worthwhile again. So we'll move this back. Now I pulled everything off. I'm going to show you the lathe. And then I'm going to show you this. Actually, I'll tell you what. I'm going to show you this. I don't even know if there is a body piece that I can pull off here. No, there's not. There's not even anything on the body of the car that I could pull off and show you how to repair at the body repair table. So, but you get the general gist of it. Yeah, I don't have any parts there, but this works the same way as this, and you actually have these like all around your shop. That's body, that's parts, and this is your lathe. So I'm gonna do the lathe here. We're gonna relathe that. That'll save me a little bit of money. Not really like I care a whole lot because I have tons of money right now anyway. You don't have to sit here and watch that do that either. I could have put that on here and come to this and done this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, I'm going to show you a couple, I'm going to show you a few of these and then just time jump it again. So now this is done, and that part is, you can go into the inventory and you can see that that part is good as new. That's what I just, it was either this one or this one. It's one of these. But you see, I can't do this one because it's 13%. Every item has to be at least 15% to redo it, or to repair it. And I think there's only one exception, and I don't remember what that is. So now I'm going to show you how the repair process works, and this process is the exact same for body panels that you can repair. As I was mentioning, this is a timing minigame. So you start the repair, and you want to hit it inside these green spots. If you hit it in the green spot, it'll tell you on success, it'll just completely repair it. On fail, it's going to take off 8%. So if I fail this thing's broken. I won't be able to repair it. And I failed. Let me try that again, because I'm usually pretty good at this. There you go. See, that's how it works. Obviously, I'm like talking right now, so my timing is a little done. But that's it. That's all it is. Usually when it's like that, when it's on these last two, it's pretty easy. When it's in the middle there, I actually usually often fail the ones that are in the middle there, or it's kind of 50-50 because the timing is just a little different. But that's it. That's literally all there is to it. I'm not going to sit here and do all of this on video. You get the gist of it. I kind of wish there was a different way of doing this. This is a little tedious, but I don't mind it. The thing I would say about this is that there is a lot of clicking in this game. So, that might get a little tedious. It might not. It might be zen. I find it to be a zenful process altogether, because I usually just put music on. I'll pull up YouTube music. I'll put that shit on, and I'll just listen to music and wrench parts out. But anyway, that's that. I'm going to time jump this again, and we'll go back. I'll come back when I'm actually working on the engine. Actually, I am going to fully remove this block here because that's at 9%, so that's no good. I'm going to have to buy a whole new block, so that'll get pretty expensive. This whole car is probably going to be a pretty expensive full restoration. So if I am going to keep it, which I probably will, because I have enough money even between this and the other two cars that I just bought for a project car, I can just go back to the junkyard and get another junkyard car and restore it fully, and I'll be right back up in the big ducats again like I am right now. But anyway, I'm gonna time jump here, repair everything, and then I'll show you rebuilding this engine. Okay, and here we go. So now we're gonna rebuild the whole engine. Now I am gonna show you here one of the things you can do is you can create a new engine. Now, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to have to find the engine that I'm trying to rebuild right now, but if you didn't put an engine on here out of a car, you can actually just come to the stand and you can pick any of these engines, any one of these engines at all, even if you don't have the parts for it, and you can create a new engine, right? And then when you select it, it will then load the framework for it on the stand for you, even if there's not a part on it, and then you go into it and you go into your part mount mode, and it'll show you the first piece that you need to put on there. And then obviously what you have to do is I think that is the top end. Yeah, that looks like the top. Yeah, that's definitely the top. Okay. Then what you have to do is you have to go piece by piece and add them to your shopping cart. This is something I do not... this is something I'm going to need to add. So we go to that. This is the base. This is just step 1. Hey, what's going on here? There we go. There it is. So 18. See, that adds up, especially when you're doing a full restoration. Now, the game does take into account largely the amount of money that you spend on parts, fully upgrading it, I believe. But generally, the more that you can repair on a car and not have to buy, the better, because it's going to save you a lot of money on your return. But we're going to buy that because we can. So that's a brand new piece right there. And all of these things that are highlighted, you can put those on before you do anything else. So I'm going to do... I like to take things out of my shopping list when I'm rebuilding them, or after I've already put it on. So we're going to do the crankshaft, the camshaft, the ignition distributor, the fuel filter. So now let's go to our tablet. Now the ignition distributor, you'll notice, can't be found in the main shop. You have to go to electronics for that. All of this other stuff, though, is in the main shop. There are mods for this game. One of the mods is a quality of life mod. And I think that... I'm not entirely sure because I haven't really looked into modding in this game yet. But I think the quality of life mod might include an all-in-one shop, so you don't have to, like, go to all these different shops. I don't mind it. It creates kind of a level of immersion. But that might not be everybody's cup of tea. There might be a mod out there that just combines all these shops into one. I don't know. So I just bought all that, and I'm going to put all that stuff on. Oh, I guess I didn't. Really? Oh, I guess I didn't put that in there. Okay. Well, we'll go back to the electronic shop. Now we'll put the crankshaft in. We'll put the camshaft in. We'll put that in. All right. And the fuel filter, which I did buy. Okay, so the next thing to do here is we're going to have to put all of these pistons in. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a V8, so we have 8 of these. So now what I like to do, depending on, like, you know, you don't have to do this, but what I like to do is I like to add in 8 times. And then I go to my tablet. That way, I only do this if I'm not immediately going into the shop, like if I'm adding a bunch of parts here. That way I remember how many of one thing I need, right? So we'll go here, the main parts, we'll get the cam gear, remove that, and then the pistons with piston with conrod. We're going to buy 8 of those. Now I know that I'm also going to need piston rings as well. This is a Hemi, so I might actually need Hemi. Yeah, I think I need these. Let's see if I did that right. No, I don't need Hemi rings. Okay, I was wrong. I don't really know what you use these for. To be completely honest, I don't. Every engine that I've ever pulled apart has just used regular piston rings. So, I'm not sure. But, anyway, we'll go back into this. Now I have 100% of these. And now I'm putting these in. So you're kind of getting the general gist of this, of how much there is to install and put together. This is the engine head, and these are actually 2 different things, because one is going to have the oil fill cap on it, and one's not. Put these on, and this is, I'm going to tell you right now, this is where it gets real fun with the clicking and the part by part by part process. These are actually one of, like, I love these engines, but this is one of the more tedious aspects of rebuilding one of these engines. So these V8s, these engines in particular, they have these valve push rods. There's 8 of them on each side. So you're going to need to buy 16 of these, and then there's rockers that rock when these things go up and down, that go over top of these. So again, 16 of these, 16 rockers. So that's a lot of fun. So again, I'm going to time jump ahead of this, and then put this on here. And then I'll show you the rest of it here. I guess I'll just put... I'll put a few of them in just to show you. You're going to need 16 of these. And you got it. And sometimes it gets a little tricky to get the mouse right over where they're supposed to go. But anyway, I'll time jump this, and I'll see you when this is done. Okay, and we're back. So now all of these are in. So now this is actually interesting because I've never built a V8 Hemi before, the 440. This is all actually one piece. So that makes this really easy to put together. On a standard V8, like the, or I guess standard V8, most of the V8s that I've worked on, like the Coyote engine that's in my main project car, that you have to put each one of these rockers in one by one. On this engine, it's all one rod piece. So that actually makes putting this together a little bit less tedious. So that's why I jumped back into this at this particular point. So now we're going to go to the engine head cover, which I guess I didn't get that yet. Yeah, I didn't get that yet. Okay, so we're going to buy that. We're going to buy that. There you go. So that's actually where the oil fill cap is going to go, I think. Yeah, that's where the oil fill cap's going to go. We're going to put the cover on this one. Okay. Now we need to put our manifold on. Intake manifold there. Pretty sure I already bought that, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Okay. Now we're going to come over here. Another manifold. We need a timing chain. And then this is actually where your spark plugs go. I know I'm going to need 8 of those. All right, now let's go in here. We'll start buying stuff. I need 2 of these. Done there. 1 of those. 1 timing chain. And then we go to our electronics shop, and we're going to get our 8 spark plugs. All right, now I'm just going to start putting shit back on. Spark plugs. So you can really get a feel here for how much there is to reassemble. Like when I say, like I mentioned that one of the rebuilds that I did, and you know, it might just be my level of efficiency, but one of the rebuilds that I did genuinely took me like an hour and a half to do the full thing. I don't have that yet. We're gonna come back over here. And that's not uncommon at all. I would say most rebuilds are probably going to take you about an hour to do. Like if you're fully restoring a car from the junkyard. Really, if you're fully restoring the car altogether, it's going to probably take you, no matter what condition it is, it's going to probably take you that amount of time. Because if you're fully restoring the car, you're pulling everything off of it. So we're going to go back here, and I'm going pretty quick through this at this point, but I mean, you get the idea of like what I'm doing here. I'm adding the parts to my shopping list, going into the shopping page with my tablet and buying it, putting it on the car. And that's really the whole process. So now I need that, and that. The pulley. And arm over here. Alternator, power steering pump. I need to put that in there. Power steering pump. Carburetor. And the alternator is actually going to be in the electronics shop. That makes sense. I mean, realistically, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me because most, like, you know, you can buy electronic parts and regular parts at, like, AutoZone, right? So, it is a little bit of a tedious element, but, you know, it is what it is. It's how the game is designed. It doesn't really bother me or detract enough away from all the other cool elements to really make it a problem for me. So we're going to go here, buy the serpentine belt. Buy another serpentine belt. Get that distributor cap too. I'm just going to finish building this thing so that I can... Okay, yeah, so the next thing I need to do is So this is what I was talking about, those clips. Sometimes things have clips on them. And this right here, you need to buy 2 of these. And it will actually not allow you to drive... There's one thing about this game in terms of, like, if there is any restriction at all. A car has to be completely assembled and have working parts to at least start the engine. In order for you to even take it to the test track or to any of the tracks. And if it's missing one of these clips, it won't let you drive it. But, yeah, that's just a little thing. Not really that big a deal. Wait, didn't I already buy that? I think I did. Yeah, I did. Okay. So we'll get that. I do not need that. Now, those clips are actually going to be in the main shop. Those clips are not considered electrical, so they don't appear in the electrical shop. So I'm going to go back to the main shop. Clip B, we need 2 of those. I need a radiator fan and an air filter. All right, and I think this is about done. The last thing I need to do is I actually need to put the oil pan on it, but before I can do that, I have to put the rod caps and the rod bearings, or crankshaft bearings. So that's these items right here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. Yeah, so there's a rod cap per piston. And then there's 3 of these crankshaft bearing caps. All right, so I'm going to do that. Put the oil pan on. I think you get the general gist of it. This is the last parts. I actually forgot to put the spark plugs in up here, and then there's spark plug wires that you got to put on. So I'm going to finish this up, and then time jump to reassembling. And then I'll probably do a big time jump from there, so you don't have to watch that whole process. And then I'll show you the painting, and I'll show you the dyno, and then we'll go from there. Okay, and we're back. So I'm gonna start from here. Now, the one last thing I wanted to show you on this stand is you don't have to do it here, but you can actually reassemble everything up to the gearbox, before the gearbox on the engine stand. Like, I can put the flywheel on here, which I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do. Oh, damn. Oh, no, actually. That I might have actually been able to repair. Yeah, I was able to repair that. The pressure plate, you can't repair that. The clutch plate, I want to say, is the only thing that you can repair at your stand. But I'm just going to put all this stuff on, and it'll make it easier. And you definitely can't repair the release bearing. Oh, geez. I totally forgot to put these spark plugs in. All right, well, I'll just do that real quick. Okay, so now we're good to go. Now I just have the ignition wires. Electronics. Buy that. And... all right, and we're done. And that's a finished engine. So there she is. She is a beauty. Really good looking engine. And again, I'm not sure, but I think you could actually paint that engine if you really wanted to. I think you could. But anyway, I'm not gonna do. I might buy a engine case and just test it out, but I'm pretty sure you can paint your engine block. We're gonna take that off. We're going back to the car. We click on the engine crane, install, and there she is. She's at 100%. All right, and now the next step is literally just rebuilding everything from underneath the car. You go into part mount. See, with your little wheel here, you go to part unmount, part mount. And now I'm just going around all the pieces. You'll see that you have a lot of things that are highlighted, which gives you a base on what you can start with. So I'm going to start with that. Now with that installed, I could go immediately to the leaf springs. I could put the shock absorber on. I could do the rear axle knuckle housing. Before I do that, I'm actually going to come over here and show you the tire thing because that's something I forgot to do. So I'm going to separate that rim and the tire. And I'm going to actually go over this really kind of in a little bit more detail with you and kind of explain, like... I mean, there's not a lot of detail to this process, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. So now I have the rim and the tire. I'm actually going to try to repair that rim because I'm just going to keep everything stock on this. So now that rim's at 100%. Okay, so now I have the rim. I'm going to get rid of that tire, obviously. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to look at that rim. So this is a 16-inch rim. Rim Atlanta 16-inch. So I'm going to go to my tablet. We're going to go to the rim shop. By the way, there's a DLC for this. I have a DLC. So if you want all of these rims options, highly recommend you get the DLC for it. Because without it, you just have, like, stock rims. The DLC, the rim DLC, adds, like, 80 extra rims to the game. Which I would say is probably pretty significant. So Atlanta. There you go. Rim Atlanta. I need 3 of these, and I need them in a 16-inch variety. Now, I'm going to go to the inventory, see what kind of tire I pulled off there. That's a 325. I'm actually going to write this down. I do this because these are numbers that I forget, and there's no way of saving that size. You just buy a tire, and you have to select your size from there. So this is a 325, or I'm sorry, a 235, 60R, 60 R16, which is rim, 16-inch rim. And it's the vintage tire. Now, what you can do is you can add the vintage tire to your shopping list. So now I go to the tire shop. I go to my vintage tire, and now I'm going to need 4 of these, not 5, in the 16-inch variety. We're going to go to 325, or 235, with a 60 profile. Now, I have not because I've been doing full restorations, I have not messed around a great deal with putting anything other than the stock tires on cars. However, that being said, you can put just about any tire size you want on any vehicle, and it does actually make a difference from the traction when you go to the drag strip, from what I understand. I'm going to buy this so I don't forget about it. Another thing that makes a big difference on the drag strip is that's just a regular tire. This is a race tire, which is better for the track. And these are slicks, which are really, really good for drag, from what I understand. They actually make a big difference. And putting wider tires, slick tires on a car or the drag strip improves your drag times, from what I understand. I don't know the math behind it. None of that information is present in the game to like tell you like you're gonna get this much extra performance out of your car. They're all hidden values, but there is a real impact that slicks have on cars versus regular tires, from what I've read on the Reddit post of this. And it really makes a difference when you're putting a very, very powerful engine in a smaller car and when you have extra tuning and done to it. Because when you start to get into the tuning of the car, which I've not done yet, I'll kind of show you. I don't even have a car set up for it, to be honest. I could put a tuned gearbox in this car. It would be a good idea for me to do that, since I'm already building this car. But I don't know. We'll see what I end up doing. I kind of want to, because I kind of want to look at it myself. I might just, actually, honestly, I'll probably just make a separate video for that. But basically, you have, let's see here. Okay, yeah, let's go to the shop. So you have these two different shops. You have the tuning shop and the custom gearbox shop. Every one of these tune parts gives you a % increase to the tuned % of your car, which also adds extra horsepower to the car. And then you can go into, so this is just the gearboxes. This is going to be on a per basis, like what gearbox does your car take? You want to buy the custom gearbox for that car. Then you go to the tuning shop and there's tuned air filters, there's camshafts, there's everything in here. These all add extra power to the car. Now, when you add said extra power to the car, I will show you the dyno shop real quick, just in this video, and then when I actually build a car with tuned parts on it and go over that, I'll make a separate video. But you bring the car in here, then you have your dyno. This just runs it. When you tune the parts, or when you have tuned parts in there, you come to this. There's no car on here, and I don't have a car with tunable parts in it, but like when you put a tunable ECU in the car, you can then tune the ECU, which includes tuning the fuel ratios. There's also gear tuning in this, and that gets very intricate, like very, very intricate. There's whole articles on the subreddit for this, of like the math behind the tire size on your car and the gear ratio for maximum power. And this is like literally a wet dream for a drag enthusiast, because there's a whole system here that's real. And, or it's, as real as you probably can get in a video game without making it, while making it, accessible to any layman. But it gets pretty in depth. And like, if you could just have one car, and put your, upgrade different parts on it, put different tunable parts on it, come over here and say, I want to see exactly how much I can get out of this car in the quarter mile. And you just tune that thing for the quarter mile. And then go to the drag strip, quarter mile. Come back here, do a little more tuning, go to the drag strip, strip quarter mile. See how fast you can get your quarter mile. And the drag strip, and I will show you on one of my cars, there's an 1/8 mile, quarter mile, half mile, and a mile. So there's 4 different classes of races to tune your car for. And obviously, your gearing ratio is going to be very different if you're tuning for the mile versus the quarter mile. You know, obviously, you're going for different things. In the mile, you're going for top speed. You're probably going to hit your top speed on a mile. The quarter mile, you're not going for top speed. You're going for acceleration. Even more so on the 1/8 mile. You have the ability to add and remove gears. So you could only have 3 gears. If you're going, you might only need 3 gears. Maybe you only need 2 gears for the 1/8 mile, you know? And I think you can go all the way up to 5, maybe 6 gears total. I don't know. I haven't done this yet, but this is very in-depth. And, like, you could just, like, have a lot of fun with this. From my experience doing drags, the AI is pretty decent. So if your car isn't up to snuff, you'll get smoked. I did really well with my car with most of the cars that I've done. I've won a drag race. I won on the mile with my Coyote engine, and I haven't done anything to that. That's just stock. But I've won on the mile once before with that. And the quarter mile, I haven't been able to win with it yet. I got to, like, the semifinals on the tournament, and I got smoked by a Honda. So yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Just seeing, like, how fast you can get your car. And by the way, there is a racetrack. I've never been to it. There's a racetrack and there's a speed track. The speed track is the thing that you've probably seen my pictures of. That's literally just an airstrip, and it's really long. It's like 7,000 feet. So you can really find the total top speed of your car on the speed track. You just freely drive around it. The drag strip, you have to do, like, you go in and you have to do heats with other cars. You can do single 1v1, or you can do a tournament, or, you know, you can test your car against specific cars. You go down the whole list of stock cars, and you can test it against specific cars, and you might even be able to say how much tuning it has. I don't know. I haven't messed with that, but that's a whole thing. But there is a racetrack with, like, actual turns, and, like, when you are doing laps around it, there's a timer, so you can see how fast of a lap you can get with a particular car. And again, you're going to tune your car differently for that. So there's a lot there. I don't think there's much left to do with this video other than show you the final product of this car when it's all said and done. I'm not going to make you sit through and watch me put every single one of these pieces back on. You get the idea. So I'm going to time jump again, and the next time jump is going to be showing you putting the body panels back on, and then I'll go to the paint shop. I'll show you the car wash, the interior detailer that's over there, and actually this is a window tint toolkit, so you can window tint your car, which is really cool. Obviously this thing's going to be fully tinted. Yeah, I'm going to time jump, and I'll see you when I'm actually putting the panels on. Okay, time jump complete here. So the last thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to put the wheels back on the car, and I actually saved this little rubber bushing thing here to show you. When you're putting these suspension components back together, you got to watch out for making sure that you put all of these back into place. I've forgotten about this a number of times. When you put on these, like, suspension arms, the upper and the lower, it actually has you include the rubber bushing as part of the assembly when you're rebuilding that before it even goes into the car, so you don't have to manually do it. But for, like, the cross members and these leaf springs back here, you can actually put them on the car, and with the rubber bushings, like, not actually in them. So you just have to go in and manually put them in. And there's 4 of them on these cross members, and there's 2 each for per leaf spring in the back as well, if you're dealing with that. But that's just something to watch out for. I'm actually going to need to balance the wheels that I just bought for this rebuild and install them on the rims. So we'll go ahead and do that now. And I'll show you how I multitask while I'm doing this. You get your first one here, take it out, start the next one, then come over here to the wheel balancer. And this is a very easy mini game. You just turn the wheel until it's on the highlighted area, and now it's done. Take the next one, start a new one. That's done. Take it, start a new one. And that should be the last one there. Okay, that should be good. Yep. All right, now they're all the same size, so I don't need to worry about installing specific sizes. When you're dealing with cars that do, by default, come stock with different sizes on the front and the back, you have to, like, make sure that you're selecting the right size from this menu, but otherwise, that's not the case here, so we're just going to go ahead and put these all on here. Trying to drink my tea here while I do this. Jump up here. Oh, yeah. So I need to put the drive shaft back on. Okay, so one of the things I actually did here, off video, is I did pull the transmission out. That's why the drive shaft's off here. I pulled the transmission out, and I actually put a tunable gearbox in there. I also put a tuned carburetor on there because I'm going to see if you can actually do anything with the fuel mixture of a tuned carburetor, since this car does not have an ECU. So that's actually a thing. Some of the cars, the more modern cars, they have ECUs. Older cars have carburetors. With the ECU, there is a 3-stage ECU that you can buy for any car that has it, that does have an ECU, and I'll show you that here. So that's the gearbox I bought, 36 hundo. It's pretty good chunk of change. And then you have this stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, type A and type B. This car does not have an ECU, so therefore I can't use an ECU on it to tune the fuel mixture. But I put the carburetor on there, and I may or may not be able to tune the carburetor. I don't know. It might just add a horsepower increase. We'll see. But I know the ECU, you can actually tune the fuel. You go into like a little mini game for that to tune the fuel mixture. So we're going to go ahead and lower this. There's literally nothing to put on this or repair. So actually, I'm just going to straight up move this car to the car wash. And I'm going to just buy the parts that I need from it from here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these out. Actually, I'm going to go to the front seat here. I'm going to see if I can even start the car. And there you go. Cool. All right, so it's good to go. We just need to get a body on it. So we're going to go into assemble mode. And then I'm going to go around here and let me make sure that my shopping list is emptied out. I'm going to go around and add everything. Left tail light, trunk, rear window, rear bumper. I'm going to take this off. I am obviously not keeping that. Right tail light, window, front door, fender, windshield, hood, bumper, gonna take the left headlight out. That's gonna be good as new. Left headlight, left fender, left door, window, and then when I put these doors on, I'm gonna have to add the door window and the mirrors, side mirrors as well. So we're gonna go and buy all that now. So you go to the body shop, and then you select the car that you want to buy the body for. Now the game is intelligently designed, or designed by an intelligent human, so naturally the cars that are actually on your physical property lot right now appear at the top of the list. So there's the Dodge Charger. And now some of these will be in here, and some of them may not. I don't know if this car... So let me see here. So you have these two different shops. You have the body shop and the body tuning shop. The body tuning shop isn't performance related. It's just like extra custom parts for certain cars. This car does not have any extra custom parts for it, so it only has base level parts. So let's go back to the body shop, the regular body shop, go in here, and now I'm just going to go down each of these, remove them as I buy them. And just go down this list. Windshield. The hood. Front bumper. Tail light, trunk, and the left tail light. All right, now we're going to put everything back on. And that's going to give you license plates. I'm going to add those. And now you can see here that the window, I don't have that yet. Or the door windows, I don't have those yet. Or the mirrors, so I'm going to add that. Put the trunk back on. Taillights. I also need to go in and buy license plates now, because that appeared now that you put the bumper on. Actually, it doesn't appear that there is a rear license plate for this car, apparently. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, there is. Window, door, fender, right window, right side mirror. Okay, so now, oh, wait. Headlights. There you go. So that thing's already looking really slick. So we'll go back into the tablet. Oh, yeah, this is all the stuff. Front, left, door. Window. Mirror. Door, window. Another mirror. I think I already did that. Let's put it all back on. Just see here. Window. Hit the mirror. Yeah, I didn't miss anything. Okay. Okay, so the only other thing I need to do here is I need to get those license plates, and I'll show you that. That is actually pretty fun. You have to go to the license plate shop. And there's all these different license plate options. There's one for every state, and there's a license plate for like different countries as well. Finland, Czech, Denmark. I don't think there's a just straight up USA one. I kind of wish there was a USA one. We'll see here. No, there's no USA one. But there's one for every state, so we're obviously Gonna go with Ohio. And then you can buy it blank, you can buy the part, or you can put whatever you want in there. Unfortunately, you can't actually type this out on the keyboard. You have to, like, go up, down, etc., etc. Yeah, you can put your own custom text on your plate, too, which is pretty cool. I'm not going to bother with that. I have in some of my other ones. I'm not going to bother with that for the sake of keeping this video slightly PG. So now I'm going to wash the car, so you're going to see that all of this stuff gets unscuzzed when I do that. So this whole thing should just turn black. Or white, I guess. The back would be white. But yeah, so now it's washed. Oh yeah, that's the other thing that I meant to do. I got to go into the interior, pull these out. Because I don't believe you can repair seats. So we'll go to add, 1, 2, steering wheel, and the bench. The interior doesn't get super complicated. And there's only one shop for interior, I'm pretty sure. So 2 charger seats, steering wheel, and the bench. Go back to interior add mode. Steering wheel in, and the bench. Go normal mode here, and now I'm going to detail it. And I don't know if that actually does much of anything. Oh yeah, it did actually. It descuzzed like the dashboard and the shifter and all of that. But yeah, so now that's that. Now we're gonna move this thing to the paint shop. And again, I don't have the you know what? I'll tell you what. I'm just gonna buy them right now. I'm gonna buy the extra levels of the paint shop. That way I can show you exactly like what is needed or what you can do with it. It'll be a little expensive. It'll be like 15,000 altogether, but that's all right. I don't care. I got money. So there you go. Now the only other thing I don't have is the ability to change the look of your garage, which I'll just go ahead and buy that. Why not? Now I can do everything. And I don't know how to customize the look of my garage or where I go to do that at. Just got an achievement for all garage expansions. That's cool. I don't know. I'll mess around with that later. But we'll go back to... Yeah, so now I have this extra slot right here. Or this is basically... It's basically showing you where your new part is, even though this is like where it was originally. So we'll go to paint the car. So now I do the factory cover. We're obviously not doing factory with this. We're going to make it black. And then let's see here. These are factory colors. Oh, that's cool. That's interesting. Metalness you can change. Apparently. Let's go to clear coat. Oh, that's interesting. You can change the clear coat. You can change the roughness of it. That's interesting. Saturation, brightness, hue, and then there are liveries as well now. So I have no idea what that just added. Oh, there you go. Okay. So yeah, now you have a paint stripe. I don't really know how to change the color. Oh yeah, that's the thing. You can't change the color of deliveries, which is dumb. But yeah, that's you can do that. See, I don't know what this is doing for any of these. Probably because the color that I have on the vehicle right now is not the factory color, and obviously there's not even that many. Like you see, there's only 5 livery sets. So the liveries are very lacking in general. This is just going to be black, and we'll paint it. $1,000, not a bad deal. Now, if I changed it to the factory color, let's see what happens if we do. Yeah, so now, okay, so now that's why, because it wasn't, the stripes weren't showing up because it was the wrong color. It's a black, and you can't change the livery color, which is stupid. There's white. There's a black stripe on the back. And then black stripe on the front. That looks kind of cool. And then a big old, like, painted hood, which you actually could do that on your own. You can just, I'm pretty sure you can paint the hood. Let's see. I'm going to take the hood off. Come to here. I'm going to move this back to, I'm actually going to move this over to the dyno. Okay. And yeah, you have to have an emptied room in order to paint a piece. I just got myself trapped there. So let's go in here and see. Yeah, I can paint this. So now if I wanted to, I could just like paint this red, which honestly I think would look pretty cool. Let's do it. Yeah, you can just individually paint parts. You can individually paint the engine covers on your car. I think you can even paint your starter. I mean, you could see you can paint your oil pan if you want. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. I think you can paint your rims. I actually don't know. So I'm just going to dyno this right now. So the factory power is 375. I have a custom gearbox and a custom carburetor on it. So I should just right away get a little bit more power from it. I kind of wish that it showed the car spinning the wheels in this screen. So that looks like it's... No, I actually got a plus 16 horsepower gain. And plus about 20 torque. Not bad. So just from those 2 parts. Now, you could see from that graph, you could actually see that going into the... This is what you have going on. Factory power, measured power. 4% tuning. Now, you can see your graph here. Now, I believe the mini game to this. So yeah, so here's the gearbox. This is because I have the custom gear box put in. You can change the number of gears up to 7, 8, 9. 9 gears. You can put 9 gears. See, I mean, this would get very interesting. Yeah, so it comes custom with 4. There's no ECU, but there is a carburetor. So to achieve the best performance from carburetor tuning, you need to match the wheels, wider position, better performance. Adding value to one wheel changes values on all remaining. More carburetors, more performance to gain. Match the wheels. Okay, so this is... Yeah, so this is interesting. See, there's a little bit of a gain right there. Wider position, better performance. So there's a 0.5% gain right there. There's a 1.2% gain. That might be the best gain that I can get out of it. 1.2% gain. I think that's probably going to be the best I can get out of it. I don't know if I'd be able to get +2/+2 across the board. I had a pretty good one there before. There, I like that. That looks pretty good. So let's apply that. And now let's see what our gain is. We'll come back here. Let's see. So we're at 498 torque, 391 horsepower. Let's see if we get anything extra out of that. Yeah, I got a 21 horsepower gain out of that, a 20 plus 21. So I'm at 395. I was at 394. So I got 1 extra horsepower out of doing the fuel, which obviously you're only dealing with 1 carburetor. That's not really where your gains are going to come from. And then the additional thing to do would be to change the gear ratio. So everything revolves around the final drive, from my understanding. So I'm just going to go down this, and let's just stick with 4 gears here, because I'm going to do the 1/4 mile. In fact, you might even just want 3 gears for the 1/4 mile. So a shorter gear here is gonna, yeah, so the shorter the gear, the higher the acceleration. So let's go to, like, I don't know, 3.25. Second gear, let's just make it shorter. We don't really need... We're not going to hit 150 miles an hour, so let's make our 4th gear longer, I guess. I don't know, let's try that. And then let's go back to the dyno and see what we get out of it. I don't know that you're going to get a difference on your dyno score, but let's try. This is all new to me. But you can see here that this is pretty in-depth. There are no, like... You have a lot of numbers here. You see so there's a big difference here now between my torque band and the so I don't know that I really got anything out of that. But let's just, for the sake of the video, let's just take it to the strip, or we'll take it to the speed track. Oh, I'm missing brake fluid. That might be important. So I'll just go in here, and you can actually add fluids anywhere. Now, I already added oil to the car. I at least know that. I think that's everything I need right there. It'll tell me. No, I didn't. Interesting. So we've been dynoing this without coolant fluid. That's fun. It's not really good for the engine. Now, again, I don't have wide tires on the back of this, so I don't know how this is going to perform with the extra horsepower. I don't think it's going to be that significant. But I'll find out. When I go to the speed track, I'll find out if it can at least, if it doesn't spin out. If it spins out, then that means that the gearing ratio is too extreme for the wheels that are on the car, and I need to add wider wheels, and ideally slick wheels. Power steering fluid. All right. I forgot that. I think for the sake of the video, I actually meant to do all of this, show you how you actually physically add fluid to the car. And you can drain the fluid too. You have a tool that drains the fluid, like a pump. Obviously, for the engine oil, you put the you jack it up and you put a catch pan underneath it, and then you just drain it that way. There we go. Now we can go to the speed track. Highest speed attained on this is 161 miles an hour, and that was on the, that's actually been on my Coyote engine. So we're going to go to free camera here. And, oh! Hang on. There's one more thing that I didn't do, and I'm going to do that before... Well, I should have showed you the before and after effect, but wheel alignment. There's wheel alignment, which is very easy, and there's headlight alignment as well, which is a little more challenging, but I don't really even get the point of that other than for, like, maybe jobs. So we'll go to, where's it at? The test path, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, the name, but yeah, so there's the wheel alignment. You click on it. This is really easy. You just get it green. Get it green. And this actually, if you don't do this, your car will actually drift heavily to one side or the other when you go to the speed track. There, that's aligned. And that's aligned. Good to go. All right, let's go back to the speed track, see. My gut tells me that with these upgrades, I'm probably going to hit a new top speed here. As long as it doesn't spin out. So that's already a good sign. So now on, obviously I'm holding power down nicely. In the actual drag strip, you have to manually shift. See, at this point, this thing needs an extra gear. And we're going to brake right about here. It doesn't really matter if you run into things. It does nothing to... it does absolutely nothing to, like, damage your car. There's no wear and tear on the cars in any capacity. Once you rebuild a car and it's 100%, it's 100% for life. That's one thing I would like to see added in the next game is wear and tear when you take it to, like, races. I think that would be a lot of fun. And you can do donuts, which is a lot of fun. All right, let's take it to... Let's actually take it to the drag strip and see how it does in the quarter mile, since that's really what I was gearing it for. See if I can win some money. And that'll be the end of the video here. Once I do that. Which this in and of itself could be a little bit, but for the sake of time, I will just simply not bet on any of the races. You can actually, when you're doing this, I'll show you. Go to the tournament. We're going to do the quarter mile. And my car is a 178, so I'm looking for... Yeah, so I'm probably not going to really do that great. I mean, the D class is 101 to 200. So I'm probably going to get smoked by something. Entry fee. So you can actually go into each of these, and you can bet on whichever car you want. And you can make a lot of extra money doing that. So you get your betting money payout, and then if you win the whole tournament, you get a purse, obviously. So, but I'm just for the sake of time, I'm gonna not bet on anything here. All right, so what you have to do, you have to hold the handbrake, which is spacebar, and then you rev, and then the lights start, and all of this is manual. You have to release the handbrake, obviously, to go on green, and then you gotta shift manually. Yeah, and I'm gonna smoke this guy. Bye-bye. That's really not even my best pool. What was that? That was a Salem Curiate. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that's a Fox body Mustang right there. So I want that now. Because before Ford came into as a DLC with this game, there were obviously cars that were based on the Ford model. Obviously, the Crown Vic is a Ford. I'm pretty sure this is also the Fox body. So I want that. So my quarter mile was 11,515. Or no, that was my 1,000 foot. My quarter mile was 13,715 at 103 miles an hour. So that is not even close to being good enough for me. Obviously, the goal is you want a 10-second car. Or a sub 10-second car. On the quarter. So, that's, where we're going to try to push this this car to. And any car, that's kind of the benchmark. But I did that at 103 miles an hour. He did it at 93. So, obviously, I beat him. All right, let's see here. The Mayan M8. Let's go. I think that is a, I don't know. What does that look like to you? I don't know, actually. All right, handbrake. See, I didn't even end up using my fourth gear there, so if I am going to do this quarter mile, if this is going to be a quarter mile car, I might actually go back to the shop and take a gear out. I did that faster than my last stint at 105 miles an hour for the quarter, and I only ended up in third gear. So this is a situation where I think it would be safe to say, go back, take a gear out, and change the final, So this is where the min-maxing comes into play, and this is what I mean. It's really in-depth, and could be a lot of fun. There are documents out there that players have made who have done this extensively, that have shown, like, what's the best engine, like, how far can you push certain engines. Right now, the 2-carb V8 supercharge is like a beast. It's pretty much the beastiest V8 you can make, and like you can get well in excess of over 1,000 horsepower out of that thing. And I think this charger can actually take that. Actually, no. I don't know. I don't think it can. I know my so what is this? This is a Porsche. It might be actually. Actually, that is that a Mazda? I don't know. Oh yeah. I'm cleaning this guy up. That was a bad shift. And I still beat him. Oh, yeah, I was right. It's a Porsche. 911. Porsche 911. So I just smoked a Porsche 911. He did that at 96. I did that at 104. All right, let's see. Bolt Ranger Police. So I might actually win this tournament. Let's see. It'll be fun. And then this will be the end of it right here. Oh, this is an SUV. I mean, don't laugh at the SUVs, I'll tell you that, because I've seen them. I've been smoked by an SUV before. That's a good shift. Right about there. Oh, yeah. Good night. 106. I think it just hit 106. No, it didn't. I was just about to hit 106. But yeah, 105 is currently my best. So, there you go. So I just won 47 hundo. And obviously, if you bet on all of these races as you're going through it, I mean, I've lost a tournament and still walked away with like 5,000 or like 5,000, 6,000, something like that, just in bets. So if you bet through this and you win the whole thing, I mean, you can easily win like 10 grand from these, which is a great way of getting some money back when you do a rebuild. Usually, even when I'm selling a car, I'll bring it to the drag strip and I'll try to win something just to get some money back from it, and then I'll sell it. I'm not going to be selling this car, though. I'm going to push this car. But that's it. That's everything, really, there is. The only other thing I could show you, which I don't need to, like, go into great deal with. So there are 3 different, let's see, I think 4 different ways to acquire vehicles in this game. Go to the map here. There is the Junkyard. You can buy them there. There's the Car Salon, which are brand new cars. There's barns, which you have to have a map for. I have several. I've never been to them. But you get these maps, you put them on your wall, and then they show up on the world map here, and you go to them. And then you just, like, dig through a barn and find, I think, parts and vehicles. And then there are also auctions. I'll go to the auction. There's 2 different classifications of auctions. There's salvage auctions, and then just like a general auction. This is a general auction. This is salvage cars. Salvage cars are in way worse condition, but you get them for a lot. Their starting price is way cheaper. I mean, look, this starts at 1,000 credits. These are regular. These start much higher. So these are fun ways of getting a car that you're looking for, because you can't really just go and buy any car you want in the game. There's kind of like a randomness to it, so which I think makes it fun. The Car Salon has like a set amount of cars that are on the lot, I think. And I just, for the sake of time, I won't show you. I won't go through the actual auction. It's pretty self-explanatory. You pick a car, you examine it. If you have the skill, which I do, it'll show you the estimated value of the car. So when you're bidding, you can say, you know, I don't want to bid too much over this estimated value. But when I'm doing the salvage auctions, I know I'm going to fully rebuild it anyway, so I don't care if I go a little over. You're pretty much always going to go a little over. The other option is the Car Salon, which gives you you know, these are brand new cars. I don't think anything is going to appear in this. These are, yeah, I don't think you can even, like, select unless you can come up. Yeah, you can. So, yeah, you can just pick whatever car you want out of this. I was wrong. But, again, these are all very, very nice cars, expensive cars. There's nothing that's going to be, like, vintage in this list. But you can, like, if you want something specific, like, let's say a Pagani or a Nissan GTR, okay? And then you can pick, like, the color that you want for it. So we'll go with that. You can pick the rim. And this is the price right here. I can't even afford this car. But, yeah, that's how you acquire cars. Obviously, again, the vintage cars are not going to be in here. You're going to have to, like, find them in the junkyard or the salvage auctions or the regular auctions. But that's it. I'll edit this video down, and hopefully that gives you a pretty good idea of what there is to get out of this game.